Start with just what have you been working on lately, man? I know you've been busy.
Yeah. I'm actually working on a new album. It's pretty much halfway through, and I'm gonna finish it up. I don't have a release date because, like I said, I still got some more songs to do. So maybe I'm looking at it like maybe it's about 60%, 70% done, and I gotta get the little other kinks done on it. Just a couple more songs, and I'm gonna be ready to go. I don't like to give out a release date because it's not actually once it's finished, then I can kind of go with a release date because then I'm gonna do like artwork and stuff like that, and that's normally pretty quick because it's like photos. But other than that, I'll just kind of wait till it's completely done and then push out a release date.
Okay. So you're gonna be dropping again? 'Cause I know you just dropped Vintage Player.
So Vintage Player was an album that I had on. That's actually that I had sitting up, and it wasn't. I had not put it out. So I was like, hey, let's put it out right now until I get ready to drop another album, to wrap my new official album. This is still a new album, but it's just something that I was like, okay, I got a record that's not even out. Let's put it out. So that's how that happened. That's why I call it vintage, because there's a lot of things on there, like samples I did and different stuff. So I was like, oh, this vintage, Vintage Player. The album before that is Conscious Player, right?
Yeah.
So I kept the player thing going, the Conscious Player, Vintage Player, and then I'm gonna have my new album is gonna be called Something Else Player. So yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, you sound like you're going with the trilogy there with the player.
Yeah, three trilogy, yeah, just like that, yep.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now that Vintage Player is definitely a dope album. He had a lot of mix of different sounds. Came out with some bangers. The Rap Like This and Rap Chose Me, and yeah, some funk. I wanted to highlight a couple of tracks off of there. First one was You Lied To. You kind of got on your edutainment tip right there. I thought I was listening to Razcast for a second. That nature said, whoa, hold on. And, tell us a little about that track. What made you want to do that one?
Oh, you talking about You Lied To?
You Lied To, yeah.
Yeah. So really, so shout out to McLaren F1, the producer who gave me the track. When I heard the track, actually, I said I need to speak something that's gonna grab some attention on this record. That's basically where I was at with it, and it came out like that. It was just like, hey, man, sometimes people, we believe in, and this is not to be super political, but people believe in the things that was brought to them. Maybe it can be from family tradition or whatever. And I'm like, sometimes you can be lied to, right? And most of the time, a lot of things, not just in that form. It can be anything. You could just be lied to about everything about life and things that you consider truth, but you don't know if they're true or not. You could just let's make a record about it, and that's basically how that song came about.
Right. No, at least if anything, at least makes people question stuff and not just accept what's served up to them.
Exactly.
Another track I want to talk to you about was You Must. I mean, that was a pretty dark track. That was like some Brother Lynch. I thought it was like some Eminem. Like, whoa, okay.
Hey, you know what? So when I first and that track that Daniel, my brother, bro, did it. When I first heard the track, I said, oh, I gotta go there. And I didn't know what level of. I mean, because I'm a fan of Brother Lynch and, the dark music stuff too, right?
That's on my shit, yeah.
And I think he's one of the dopest MCs.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, so I was like, can I take it there, But I know I can because I listen to artists that do it, right?
Yeah.
So when I did it, I was very proud of myself because I said I just took it to that level. And I told the story. So the story is about me picking up a guy like I was a Lyft driver. I picked him up. You remember the movie Saw?
Oh yeah.
You remember how the vigilante thing? You take the person and you put them in the room. So that's basically what it was. I kidnapped it. I told him, hey, you can take some of the candy in the back, and he started chewing it. Now his body is getting numb, and I take him to a warehouse. I strap him down, and I'm basically killing him slow because what happened was he. So I'm gonna tell you the story. Nobody else knows the story. This is the real story. So the story could be fiction. It's basically based on him doing he was a drunk driver and he hit a girl. He killed her. So that was my part of the vigilante part coming in. Okay, I'm about to take you and torture you, right? Because you killed that young girl.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it happened in real life. I just never told nobody. So you get an exclusive information from me. So my daughter, her best friend, it happened to her. So I decided to make a song about it. So yeah, it was like I created the story, but that's based on what it was. It was a drunk driver, and he killed the girl, and things didn't really happen to him. He didn't go to jail, but he still killed her. He was drunk, so I think he went to jail, but not like for the murder. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that was the creative part. Like, I'll make a song about it and just make it in a sense of where it sounds like a song, but it's still the thought of that. That's what created that song, is a drunk driver killing a young girl that was 15 years old.
Oh wow, no.
Yeah, and it was a real story, but I just kind of created it to make it my own.
Okay, now
you know how artists do. Yeah. We kind of but it was based on a true story. I just never told nobody it was based on, because people was like asking me what when they heard the song, because they had never heard me rap dark. So it was like, man, what is that about? And I'm like, oh, that's just a little story I made up. But now I'm telling you, it was based on a true story. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think I didn't know if I wanted to ask you, but I was like, man, this one actually kind of sounds personal. Like, it
was. It was a true story about my daughter, her best friend, who got killed by a drunk driver.
Oh man. Yeah. Condolences to the loss and all that.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it was hard because we found out, and it was so weird because at the time, this happened about 7-8 years ago, and my daughter and her, they would talk on Snapchat or something, right, all the time, because she had moved away, but they would still talk all the time, and she had not heard from her, for a couple of weeks, so she didn't think nothing of it. She just thought, oh, okay, she's probably doing her own thing. And then we seen her mother and the one who passed away, her sister. We seen them in a store one day, and I asked her. I said, "Hey, where is your daughter?" We both was asking, me and my daughter, like, "Where's your? She's always with you." And it was like, "Oh, you didn't hear?" And we like, "Hear what?" And then they told us, and we was like, "What?" We didn't even understand when they told us. And but yeah, that's how it happened. And then I did my own research on it after that. I went to look it up after, because she said it was all on the news, but I didn't see it. I never looked at the news to even see it. So I had to go back and look at papers and stuff and found out what really happened. So yeah. And so crazy? I actually ran into a guy that knew him, the person that did it.
Oh wow. And
I was like, yeah, man, this guy, I kind of told the story, and he was like, oh yeah, he said his brother was cool. He went to school with him. He was he was kind of off. He was always getting into trouble, and he was like, yeah, I heard he was drunk, and that night, and he drove, left, and that's when it happened. So I was like, wow, somebody else was telling me some of the things that happened to him. This before the song was made. So that's what kind of triggered all of that. It's like all this information, they triggered me to make the record.
So he's already had red flags even before that incident.
Yeah, it kind of like, okay, let me just go ahead and and it still came from an honest place. It wasn't like I was trying to nitpick him. It was kind of like, hey, I got an idea for a record. Let me just do it. That's why if you notice, towards the end of the record, I said, you must die. That little girl that you killed, that was my daughter's best friend. I say that because that's a real part. That's a real part of what happened.
It wasn't just like some kind of mindless killing and eating like Lynch does. Is actually like a personal, he had a reason and all that.
But that's cool. That's cool too if it's just made up. But that one was a little more personal. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I think that's why I did it so well. I like how I did it. It was just kind of like, oh, it's personal, but I had fun doing it.
Yeah, and it always like kind of goes somewhere. Like a lot of times, like music gives people a chance to vent, or like. Some cases, like, it might even prevent people from actually going out and doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe, like I'm telling you now, but maybe this is something I'll go forward and tell people, like, hey, this is a story, a real true to life, based on a true story. And of course, I put my own twist on it of but it still really happened.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a powerful song. It came
right on, man.
Yeah. Elder Sensei, Artifacts, McLaren, Erase E, let's get it, let's go, yeah.
Before I started here, about it in an interview. Imagine riding shoddy, insert the journey as we spin a few corners. Broadcasting live from California, hit the streets in the land of Stackonia Studios. Shout out to Coolio up the street for the mad circle. Bed dub, I see or hear a crazy tune for the mad. That's a double entendre. Who's steady with no sponsors? Late night burrito truck, please ask Cilantro. Call me the name you can't delete. Sound like a rhyme when I speak. Before wheels, I was mobbing on feet. More than a rose out the concrete, I'm a whole bouquet. But don't compare me to a rose, that's not flamingo. Getting hot with every single while preparing a full length. Rock shades the same way I ride in full tents. L&I the two jets, from the rinse to the bricks. 30 years, 3 accidents later, still dropping dope music. Outside the house, but sometimes show up and show out. See me in a crowd, but I ain't the one running my mouth. But sometimes show up and show out. Open mic night, relax on the couch. But sometimes show up and show out. Show up and show out. Show up and show out.
Not to blow the horn, but been officially nice since I was born. I perform on the mic device. Cooler than ice, move right, Tito sipping. Moonlight, smooth tight, cool nights different. Risen from the slums, living under the gun. Stolen cars, hood stars, jersey number 1. Blunt rolling, kush smoking, see me in the clouds. In the corner of the spot, blowing mad loud. Underground, not a clown, bring another round. Ladies gather, fatter years roll around. Still culturized, from the wrong side. Brick city, still greedy, crimes multiply. Far from the scars of that past strife. Now we Lord set apart from the past life. Crash out, we lash out when we mash out. Posse a cloud, we smash mouth.
Cool, calm, outside the house. Sometimes show up and show out. See me in a crowd, but I ain't the one running my mouth. Sometimes show up and show out. Open mic night, relax on the couch. Sometimes show up and show out. Show up and show out. Show up and show out.
Right on.
I know. Switch, I guess, gears here. Kind of what we were talking about before. You know, you've always, like I said, a lot of your music I noticed is on your website for sale. It's not on streaming. You know, it's all exclusive. You always had that independent, you know, kind of mindset. You know, you started Lethal Injection, right? Your music label.
Yes. Yes.
Where did all that kind of, you know, that mindset come from and all that?
You know, just kind of looking at the game, like, you know, being from the Bay Area, man, and then, you know, growing up, you know, my favorite group growing up was NWA.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was young, you know, Cube, Dre, Easy, Red and Yellow, man, that kind of just, you know, they was that top tier, you know, because of how they came out. It was so hard. It was, and it became the blueprint for everybody else to come after them, right? But it was how they did everything, right? So, so when you know, you hear Ruthless Records, right? And then when Q started doing his thing, he was Lynch Mob Records. And then, you know, Dre branched off in Aftermath. So I kind of looked at that like, okay, let me come with a hard title for a label. So that's why I came with Lethal Injection.
Okay.
And even though it was Cube's like 3rd or 4th solo album, I still kind of knew that this will fit what I'm into. And then when I say Lethal Injection, the logo I used to have, this guy printed it. The first logo I had, it showed a like you're taking a shot, like the needle, but it had music notes coming out of it, like it's injecting music notes into you. So I might redo it and do that over again like that, because it's like Lethal Injection, meaning that point, like I'm throwing this lethal music in you.
So like a play on the Ice Cube cover, we had the headphones, or what was it?
Yeah, right.
That was cool too.
Right, yeah. So that's why. So the guy who did it for me, he played on that too. He was like, okay, Lethal Injection. It's something lethal that you're putting in someone, you know. Right, but it's still music, yeah.
All right, now I guess going back, man, strictly for the G's, which is kind of, I guess, led to this whole interview, you know, when I was got that CD and I kind of started reading about your story, like, oh man, this is dope. You know, tell us about, you know, that what went into the making of that album, you know, because that album is hard, you know, compared to all the stuff that you did after. It was like, whoa, this is the same guy, like, whoa, like.
Yeah, right. You know what? A lot of people say that. So so you know, those times, man. That was the '90s, man. It was like you had to come with it. You know, it was just that era, that time. Like, okay, when it's time to make an album, this is my first album. I'm about to make an album, and it's gonna sound like what we are gonna be accustomed to. And that's where I was at with it. Because at the time, I was really looking up. You know, I really like, you know, I'm a West Coast, but I listen to a lot of East Coast music. So I'm like, oh, I like the hip hop stuff too. So, but when it came down to doing that album, I knew what type of album to make. You know what I mean? It was like, cause I'm living in that type of environment. So it's like, oh man, this strictly for the G's. And that actually was the last track. So how that came about was so a group of guys. So actually the producer Kidnap, who actually linked me with those, you know, he was talking with some guys that were saying, hey, we want to start a label and get a dope artist. And he said, man, I know somebody right now. And, you know, that was me. He said, all right, let's meet him. So he called me up, my boy Kidnap, and said, hey, man, I got somebody that might want to do some business with you, do an album. You just got to come through and let him hear you. So that's how it happened. A couple weeks later, I went to go meet him. I had my rap binder with me. They told me what they was trying to do. They was like, hey, man, you will be a first. Multiple songs right on the spot. They was like, all right, yeah, this a go. And I already had the producer because he linked me up with him. He was like, all right, so we like his beats. We like your lyrics. That's how it happened. And we just like, let's go. So we just started going to the studio and just cranking out the album. And that's how it happened. I did the whole album at K-Lou's studio. I don't know if you heard of K-Lou's. That's a studio we're In Too Deep. E40 first went to in Richmond, California, where they did all their music at the beginning. So,
okay.
So he ended up doing the title track. He did 2 tracks on there, but he did the title track. That was Strictly for the G's was the last song I did for that album. I didn't have that title until I came with that. When we did that last record, that Strictly for the G's song, I said, all right, I'm just going to name it that because I didn't have a title at the time. I said, okay, that just sounds like a title, Strictly for the G's, because that's what it is if you listen to the whole record. It's Strictly for the G's, the people on the streets. That was a street album, and that's what it was.
It's 11941, I'm breaking in the dough. Ease up off my set, fool, I'm about to take a hoe. Want a little ass journey, backseat of my Jeep. Ass on the interior, crumb on the teeth. I kick the unexpected, I just thought I'd let you know. I did it in 93 and I'ma do it in 94. Mobbing through your town sideways in the coupe. Looking for the hoes with kids, bustin' Lee County checks. I'm swiping, now I'm headed to the seaside. To pick a wire sweat, so we can both outside. Hoes that we know wanna jump on the team, though we gon' roll you, race you dick right things. Back up off my shit, ho, you know you can't fuck with. I wanna buck your ass, but see that's something I can't live with. Instead I let the Jesus on my blood Mac home like a pro. Into the stage and watch me steal the show. Yeah, G's up, hoes down, bust some chicks play the back and it's like that. Check it. Strictly for the G's, the niggas on the street. Strictly for the G's, the ones who sell tea. Strictly for the G's, the ones who hate pose. Strictly for the G's, the ones with the tight flow. Strictly for the G's, the niggas on the street. Strictly for the G's, the ones who sell tea. Strictly for the G's, the ones who hate pose. Strictly for the G's, the ones with the tight flow. G's up, hoes down, bust the chicks play the back. Got everything I want and I'm still about to jack. Nigga, please, what you thought? I'm all about a come up, but jack me and I'ma jack your mama. Now what? And that's real, ain't no perpetration in my blood. I got 12 sack for 10, yeah, straight dubs. And for you bitches, I got some fat, now split it. I got the cheerleading squad saying, we win it out, I got it like that. I'm a G till I die, EYC, Seaside, ain't nothing changed, nigga, ride. Dropping funky lyrics is my specialty. And it's a what's home is where I love to be. Now fools might get mad and fly, haters who smoke this. And others might sing along and know I'm a dopest. Every day, all day. Blood in my mouth with some Tanqueray. Yeah, G's up, hold down, bust the chicks play the back. And it's like that. Pete. Strictly for the G's, the niggas on the street. Strictly for the G's, the ones who sell tea. Strictly for the G's, the ones who hate hoes. Strictly for the G's, the ones with the tight flow. Strictly for the G's, the niggas on the street. Strictly for the G's, the ones who sell tea. Strictly for the G's, the ones who hate hoes. Strictly for the G's, the ones with the tight flow. A hoodie wearing motherfucker, yeah, that's me. My trademark ain't going nowhere. It's here to infinity. Niggas who ain't with it better act like they with it. Or press me when I radio, then you can't forget it. Yo, hook up your interview and my fucking autograph. The E is about to blow up, so watch it for the aftermath. You know I'm sitting on top of the world with your bitch. Yeah, now with OPP, she's now with the strap clip. Ooh, ain't that something? EYC ain't no flight. Across there that is, cause I'm known as the great MC. You heard on your block, it don't stop. Primarily I'm a better than a bully in 2 blocks. Headed your way, you best to call it the night. Cause the E is hovercrafting your good with the light. Brighter than rainbow, right in the fucking sun. I'm like King Joppy Jr. I never know what. Yeah, G's up, hold down, bust some when it's like that. Check it. Strictly for the G's, the niggas on the street. Strictly for the G's, the ones who sell tea. Strictly for the G's, the ones who make hoes. Strictly for the G's, the ones with the tight flow. Strictly for the G's, the niggas on the street. Strictly for the G's, the ones who sell tea. Strictly for the G's, the ones who make hoes. Strictly for the G's, the ones with the tight flow.
That's how it be sometimes. Like the album always kind of comes to you during the process. It was definitely perfect. And then, man, and then he had of course, he had the placement on the West Coast Bad Boys.
Right.
Peace to the Streets. Man, even your 8 bars at the end, man. Like even if I didn't, like even if I just had to guess, like man, I'd go with that guy right there. That had to be him. And yeah, that.
Yeah.
Like man, just came hard on that one.
Yeah. So how that happened is, I was at the distribution company. We was going through Solar Music Group. That's E40's uncle, St. Charles, who did a lot of Bay Area artists. He would take their music CDs and and cassettes and put them to the other distribution companies like City Hall and stuff, right? So we went up there one day to actually re-up to give him more cassettes, CDs and cassettes, so we can because we were selling our album at the time. And the manager that was kind of managed me, that was working there, he was like, hey, he on his way up here, man, and we got this one record. Let me call and see if you can get on it, because he's finishing up this last song. So that's how it happened. So he called and he said, hey, E-Ray C up here, man, he from Rich, woo. And P Silk the Murder, I think it was C Murder, King George, and Silk, they went to Nations in Fairfield, because it was in Sassoon, so they went to the Nations to get burgers. So he said he heard of me, so he's like, all right, go ahead and put them on, I'll be up there in a minute. And so I went and laid my part. I did a longer part, but they said, no, he got to end it because you got to cut it short, because we got one more last rapper on here called Kilo. That's who went after me. Yeah. He said he got to get his part on here. He's going to be the last rapper. So it was cool. I just did my part. I was there, and then P showed up. P and Silk and them showed up. They said, oh, yeah, E, this cool. We going to keep this. And it was like, man, we finna put this album out. It's done. That's all I was waiting for. And Kilo, we just got to get Kilo part. And he going to get his part tomorrow. I was like, oh, okay. So that's how it happened. I was just there at the right time. And that's how I got on that record.
Saying stop the violence and increase the peace. And much respect to Master P and West Coast Bad Boys for successfully and effectively organizing these Bay Area cities. Richmond, San Francisco, Oaktown, Sacramento, Palo Alto, V-Town, and others, to unite in a peaceful, respectful way. Brothers with positive techniques and strategies, we can stand up, look up, hook up, and be up. So let's appreciate respectful individuals that's giving positive opportunities to the black community. Brothers, stop killing brothers. Stop being cold-hearted, vicious, and brutal. Have a little sensitivity and love for the next man's life.
Rapping through the door is Big Dad from the truth. Riggedy microphone check comes the one and then the two. And next comes a trade game right, Dr. J. Make the fella say, and the hoochie say, hey. It's the SIL for the kids, coming up out the biz, one hand up on my strap as I dip in my trees, yeah, I'ma sell them things, but no, I don't gangbang. I rap a stamp and yo, I still make the same thing.
Much love to the hood, peace on the block. We now all hooked up when we can't be stopped. Soldiers out on the mission of truth, moving right ahead and I still toe boots.
Smokers wanna smoke, put that dope in my rap songs, and player haters get off of my ding dong, fizz-a, it's all about the busy, cause suckers getting busy. Hooked up with G, no we don't slang keys. It's a West Coast thing, so cool please. It's a gang bang, suckers don't gang bang. And like Spice say, it's just a ghetto thing.
Wanna get our serve on, hoping that they hear go. Peace from the streets and it's coming from the West Coast.
Let a real ass nigga get his rip on. I got a little gang, but why did you trip on? when I rock the mic. I let a fool know with the Southside flow. So beat the game if they can't get stripped like a loogie coming from your folks' little rip. I dip in the dab, it's petty that I grab when I'm playing my role of a hustler.
Trying to get my serve on, hoping that they hear though. Peace from the streets and it's coming from the west.
A young player on the top side, creeping for my baby though. Let it be known, cause I'm representing get low. Doubling up the triple track to make a fast tracker. Back up, before you get caught up in the rest of young G. About my paper on a mission that I carry. Swift with the get together, make the fools carry. Recognizing game when the beat swing nice. Peace from the streets, from a player on 5G.
Nigga, the Max Boom coming from the third world. Peace in the hood, cause you know it's all good. Coming up fast, cause you know I would. Paying much due, playing by the rules. Peak game from the player Max Boom.
Peace from the streets is the rapper folk take. Pass me the baton so I can buck across the road because they selling ammunition like candy. Only a fool will go out without keeping one handy. So watch your back, it don't stop. Cause rapping folks say representing the riggedy rag top.
Trying to get our serve on, hoping that they hear though. Peace from the streets and it's coming from the west coast.
Stack and Big B, ready to rip shot.
Relinquish first EP, alleyway from the bay, you don't stop. I'm ready to turn that smile upside down.
Like a die, ready to wreck, shot and faucet, one smoke for the town.
Criminal coming up on that gangster tip. Say your piece to the hood and 86 and flip. And just in case y'all brothers didn't know,
It's DLINQUENTS coming up off the west coast.
straight from the source, that's hard. Toby Teach representing out for me as I make the track stop. Stacking dollars and all that. Pumping for nothing, man. The more you pump, the more things stay the same. So the paper scratch and maintain. And my skills keep me paid.
Rolling about the coupe, coming around the corner, boom, it's the break, baby. Back, give me room, we doomed. If we keep procrastinating, everybody get up, gonna be faking.
Trying to get our serve on, hoping that they hear though. Peace from the streets and it's coming from the west
Cancel
coast.
Christmas, young rock stuff, fool riding Trojan. Don't ever cross a soldier, especially when I'm a doja. It only takes seconds for the rest to break. Trying to get a rapper, see right seat, take attention.
It's 1994.
So what's up, Ryan?
Fools be busting the brain, gonna be left me text sign. So open up the door, it's just a two-door thing. Master P and Kilo, it's all about the Freddy mind.
Trying to get our serve on, hoping that they hear though. Peace from the streets and it's coming from the west coast. Trying to get our serve on, hoping that they hear though. Peace from the streets and it's coming from the west coast.
Because now you also got to be in the video too. I mean, which was a crazy video. Now, what was that kind of experience like shooting that?
Yeah, so that was cool too. So again, my manager, that was the manager at the time, he called me. He said, "Hey man, get down there. P and them, they about to start the video. They're going down there today. It's in Oakland. So you gotta get down there." I was like, "Oh, I'm on my way." So I brought all my homies. We all piled up, went down there into the video shoot. And at the time, that's when the box was real big at the time. So the box video play people were down there too, interviewing people. It was kind of cool, man. It was really dope because you had all the big artists in one spot. And it was like a really good gathering, man. They put me on the thing. If you see me, I'm in the air, sitting on this thing that lifts me up in the air while I was rapping. Yeah, they strapped me down. I said, oh, because they didn't put everybody on that. They was putting only a couple people on there. They said, you want to get on it? Because some people didn't want to do that. I said, yeah, man, put me in the sky. Let me see. Let me do that. And I'm young at the time, too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm all about that. They put me in the sky. You know what I mean? So they lift me up. They put me up in the sky and did my part. So that was cool.
Yeah, the whole video came out dope, man.
Yeah.
So you came out with some a lot of motion there. You know, you kind of dropped a soon-to-be little classic. You know, you're on the West Coast. Then you got on the Unside Hype column. Of course, on that infamous sort of issue. Now, looking back on it, you're kind of like, man, I'm sort of lucky they didn't dump me. You know, with the way they were treating the West Coast artists. You know, I mean.
Yeah.
I was like,
you know the crazy thing about that. Not crazy. Well, I think that was a great issue to be in, but then it was not for West Coast artists. You understand? You already know why. Yeah. Because at the time when Big got murdered, they were not really kind of dealing with West Coast at all.
Just crazy. It was kind of like you're just gonna ban the whole West Coast, and like it's way down south. Like you guys aren't even close to like any of the. Like, what?
But then he called. But see, the source called me right before. So of course they called me before it happened because they were putting me in. It was like, hey, we're gonna put you not in the next issue. We're going to put you the issue out after the next. I was like, oh, that's cool. And they did the little write-up, and I talked to them. And so when it happened, and I was in there, I called them back. I said, hey, you know, because I'm trying to see if y'all got leads or anything at this point. Because, you know, when people get in there, you know, things can happen. You know what I mean? Or
it's not like today, man. That was the big source of everything. You know,
the
internet or nothing.
So, and that conversation was really grim, man. It was kind of like, yeah, man, but, yeah. Right now, it ain't really nothing happening. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those, man. The conversation, it went from, oh, man, you're like one of the dopest West Coast artists we ever heard to, yeah, man, yeah, ain't nothing going on, man. one of those. It was like a real, yeah, you from out there, bro. We ain't gonna have nothing to do with you right now.
Yeah, it took a while for that to get mended.
Yeah, that's what happened. So I talk to people all the time. I'm like, I didn't even think about it back then though, like that. I was just happy that I was in the source. I didn't think that, because of the East and West thing, that it was a situation. But then I think back years later, I'm like, that was really what it was. It was because they started talking about it. They said they didn't even think about artists from the West Coast at that time, because they're not really thinking of you like, let's see if we can get them signed. They're not thinking of those things because they feel like there's some type of beef going on, when really it wasn't. Because I even asked one of the dudes that worked there in the source at the time. I said, do you think it's an East and West thing? He said, yes, definitely is. They were kind of like really, really strong on it. So it was like, it's nothing I could have said to them to make them change their mind. It was like, no, man, it's bad, it's bad.
Well, that might have been a little bit of the media playing into it to,
that's what it was.
Because Pac kind of talked about that, like, this is all you guys, like, this is between me and Biggie and Puff. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Because he had the One Nation project, he had all kinds of East Coast people.
All of them on there. That was the main purpose. That's why he was trying to do that. Because he wanted them to know, like, hey, this ain't about New York, because I'm finna do art. I'm finna, even had people that lined up on there, like Big Daddy Kane, the Boot Camp Clique. He had a lot of people, Naughty by Nature, Tretch and them. So he really was trying to unify, to let people know this ain't between me and Big. This ain't got nothing to do with the East Coast.
Yeah.
And then in a whole nutshell, we all know Pac is originally from New York. So it's kind of like, come on, man, why would he go at New York? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on. I mean, we claim him because he's from the West Coast, but it's like, come on, man. He ain't against
everybody be claiming
the whole. He not against the whole New York. That's the reason why Pac did the One Nation album, because he was trying to prove to them this ain't even about none of this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Now speaking of Pac, since you were outside and kind of got to see Pac in his beginnings. Well, what do you think? Because it seems like the last few years it's kind of become a trend in like LA to like not claim Pac. You see all their top 50, top 100 lists. Like Pac is completely left off all of a sudden, and he's Bay. And then you got people, he's East Coast. Like what? So what would you say? How would you judge? Should a rapper be based on what he represents, on where he's from? Because Pac is originally from Baltimore, right? He ran. He rapped hard for LA. There's a lot of cases like that. Exhibit is actually from Texas, but he's repping Cali. Wiz is from Cleveland. Right. He made Black and Yellow. So I mean, like, what are your thoughts on that?
I actually think so. So like Rakim said, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at, right? I believe in that a little bit, because it's kind of like it's where you get your information from, right? How did you come up? You know what I'm saying? Pac came up on West Coast Bay Area music, first of all.
Oh yeah.
So we gonna claim him. Even they asked Tajay from Soul Submission this like a couple weeks ago, and they said, "Where do you think Pac from?" He said, "Man, we're gonna claim him in Oakland because he got all this game from here." And that's just what it is. It's like, so him running to LA, we knew what that was about, because we knew he was getting down with Death Row. He was trying to get to a bigger machine. But it makes more sense to say he's from the Bay Area over LA, because he just went to LA. That's different. Okay, yeah, he was raised on the East Coast, but he was traveling around, and then he came to Marin before he went to Oakland. But it's just like, hey, I believe that Pac is from, I would say, Oakland, because of the affiliation with Digital Underground, him coming up under Shock G and Money B. I gotta say, and Richie Rich, you gotta give it to them. When I met Pac, his apartment was in Oakland. You understand? So it's kind of like, I would say Oakland, or Bay Area period, because it's just where he got all his game from. Now he did travel around, but it's just where he got who he was. The Pac we listen to that information came from the Bay, came from Oakland. So I would say that I'm not gonna discredit this, that he wasn't from the East Coast. It's just more like, hey man, the boy left. And the same thing with Corrupt. Corrupt is originally from Philadelphia.
That's right.
He moved when he was 15, 16 years old, moved to LA. And then he was in a rap contest, and Snoop heard him, and they brought him to the Dog Pound. So it's like, but if you listen to Corrupt, you can tell his lyrics was so complex, at that time. He was chopping it. Yeah, you could tell the way he rapped, it was like, and I always say, Corrupt ain't nothing but a lyrical gangbang rapper, because he's so dope with his lyrics, but he still talk that talk. That's what I liked about. I think that's why we like Corrupt so much, because he's like, he can chop your head off, but he's still talking that talk. You know what I mean?
Still too, like at a high level, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people are from, so like you just mentioned, the Exhibit. He's from New Mexico. I mean, you know, but he rep Cali. Same thing with Corrupt. He's from Philly, but he's rep LA. You know, it's just what it is. It's where you start your journey at. That's what it is, man. And everybody's. Did you ever read or hear about Too Short? He said the same thing. He's originally from LA, but he moved to Oakland. He moved to Oakland. So we would never say, nobody would ever say that Short is from LA, but that's where he's originally from. He's from Oakland because that's where he got all his game from. That's where he started his rap career at. That's where he was raised at, right? That's how it goes, man. It's just where you land. It's wherever you land at, and that's where you come up at. That's where you just where you're from. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of rappers like that.
Oh, yeah.
They're from somewhere, but they move somewhere else, and then they get accustomed to that area, and that's where they claim.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of people say you always blow up everywhere else but your hometown or whatever. There's a lot of people say, you know, you got to get out of the area or something. But yeah, no, Pac was a special. I think it was just sort of like just a combination of all the different places he's been, which is what made him so unique. You know what I mean? And
that's what it was. He's just exactly. You summed it up the right way. He's just embodied all these places, and he used all parts of that, and he became who he is. You know,
yeah, he understood that one thing in common with no matter where he was always just a struggle. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's what I think was the common kind of denominator that he used to unify people, or was able to speak to people.
Exactly.
You know?
I need you, but I gotta make some dough. I must hit the cut, cause to come up is what my plan is. Gotta advance and take some chances due to circumstances.
Now the way it's set up now, you ain't gotta leave the house. But the way my mind's set up, I unplug and get out. Spend time with nature. The universe trying to speak, but she think it's in my nature to add miles and run the street. But I'm in hustle mode while still being a player, but I ain't chasing those. Gaming, start using my cheat codes to snatch goals, feel the soul. At the same time, investment grows. Life is like a big photo shoot, strike a pose, ching ching. No camera shot, that's a deposit sound. Bust a move like a young MC, I still get around. Clean, even if I wasn't, I won't rap about it. Getting my paper up. By all means, stand on my 2 feet when the surface uneven. 25 years plus, yeah, I'm still believing. Getting to it. So instead of talking about it, keep my status up, just in case you keep a scope, baby.
I can't keep you, but I can't let you go. I think I need you, but I gotta make some dough. I must hit the cut, cause to come up is what my plan is. Advance and take some chances due to circumstances.
Bending corners, corner bending, no push, still driven. Hit the clutch, gear change, the body starts spinning. I was chilling, got the feeling, the car start dealing. No time to count losses if I'm out here winning. Got hometown love, but of course I want more. Always scored, no bookings, but I still went on tour. Travel, not stopping, when the album dropping. Island hopping, no worries, my regular life is popping. I'm on, I just wanna do the same with my music now and keep something loyal like you, so you can hold me down, Brown. Yep. Even when I'm out of state, I just wanna get us to a better place, a clean slate, moving faith. At the same time, I make it happen. No boss, cause I am the captain. Hands clapping, not theirs, my own. I cheer myself. You either rockin' with me or get left, but I still love you though. Yeah.
I can't keep you, but I can't let you go. I think I need you, but I gotta make some dough. I must hit the cut, cause to come up is what my plan is. Gotta advance and take some chances due to circumstances.
man. I guess the last thing I want to talk about. You have sort of a lost album, Longevity. I cannot find that thing anywhere.
Oh, yeah, that's
it says your second album is a second win, or the one you did with Contact, but no, that discography, like, oh, where is that? I cannot find that on YouTube, streaming, nowhere.
So which one, the Contact and Erase album?
I think that one I can find, but the longevity one, that one.
Yeah, that was that's a collector's item. That's one of those limited editions, man. Of course, I still got it. I can still I'll probably repress that maybe, just because I know everybody don't. But when I did it, it was just kind of like, let me just try to get something out at the time, because I was like, hey man, I'm due for an album, and I kind of did it my way because I didn't have the funds to kind of to make it big. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna press up a few hundred copies. And that's just how I did it. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, I'm going to promote it. Yeah, I'm like, hey, whoever gets it, get it. But then I look back, I'm like, oh, that was a real limited edition, because everybody don't even not heard it, or they just wonder what happened to it, you know?
Yeah.
I actually put it in the Rasputin stores, but they would sell out, you know? I even took some down to the store in Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? So when it came out, that album came out back in 2001, Longevity. I called it that because I felt like at the time I've been doing it for a while at that point, you know, and I was like, I'm in it for the longevity, and this is part of that, so I'm calling it Longevity, and that's how the name came about. It was just kind of like, hey, what should I call it? I could have called it anything else, but I was like, hey, I'm gonna go with Longevity, because that's how I felt. You know, I'm longevity, I'm long-winded, and that's why I'm even here years later after that. So that lets you know that that title made sense. You know.
Oh yeah. It was kind of forecasting the future there, man.
Right.
Because that was such a long gap. But you kind of mentioned, you know, the East-West fallout. Did that kind of like derail like your career or whatever? Because you said like a lot of labels and stuff weren't fucking with the West Coast and stuff.
I don't know if it derailed, but it just kind of like it put a hold on signing new artists. And the only reason I knew that because someone on that side talked about it years later. And I was like, I looked at it from a different perspective. I was like, dang, maybe that's what happened. You know, I was like, could it derailed me? Or maybe it didn't give people a spot, like, to look at me anymore. Because they thought that I was dope, but they're not looking no more, because they're like, hey, we're dealing with this East and West thing. We're definitely not looking at new West Coast artists. Like I said, only the artists that was on already, those are the people that kind of was able to still push through. But if you were a new artist at that time, yeah, it was kind of hard for you, because there wasn't, and that, like I said, back then, I didn't even think about it like that. I just was happy that I was in the source. And then, because I'm from the Bay, Richmond, California, right? I was thinking, I'm looking at Mac Dre put out albums, all the local people put out albums, right? I'm like, oh, let me try to just do it this way.
Yeah.
So I seen JT, the bigger figure, and I seen how he was doing his thing. So I started looking at the back of places that press up CDs and cassettes, and that's how I started doing my thing. Because I'm like, oh, I can just do this on my own too, because I seen a blueprint from the Bay. The Bay had a blueprint of doing their stuff themselves.
Yeah.
So I stopped looking at labels. I'm looking at like, oh, I can just put the music out myself. So that was the approach of it. I didn't even think of, oh man, I ain't getting signed. I'm thinking like, oh, I can just do it myself and see how this works. So
you guys already had that mindset.
So I took that approach, like just how we do. So I looked at, okay, this how much this costs. This how much this costs. I was like, okay. So I actually put out an EP, like only on tape, called Those That Know Me, before I put out Longevity, and that was a couple of years. That's a real find.
Okay.
Yeah, it was only on cassette. So, and that was back in '98. I put that out, and it sold really well. I was like, whoa, okay. I did consignment on that because I didn't have distribution for that. You know, it's just like 5 songs on there or something like that. And I put that out, and I was selling it hand by hand, and I was selling it out, you know. And I would run into other artists when I had it. I remember I ran into Dale, the Funky Homo Sapien, one day, and I gave him, he said, oh, this you? I said, yep, I gave him. And another quick story, when I had the Contact and Erase album we had released back in, years back, I was in Sacramento and I ran into Mac Dre. He was at the Arden Mall at Foot Locker, and I walked in there, I'm like, oh, it's Dre, you know what I'm saying? And back then, if you want, you gotta have your music on you. You never know who you're gonna run into.
Yeah.
So I happen to have a CD on me. I had like 2 CDs. I said, "Oh, Dre, this is me, man. It's me and my boy Contact." And he was so cool. When I had met him before, but when I seen him, like, he was just with one other person. He was in there buying shoes, and to see him in that form, just a regular form, he was kind of like on some big. He was like, "Oh, for real, is you?" He said, "Oh," and then he looked at, I had people like Balance that used to work at Rasputin's on there, and other people that was on that album at the time, Mr. Fab, and we had people like MC Light and Prodigy. Before he passed, he was on the record through my boy Contact, and he seen the people that was on there. He was like, "Oh, I know some of these people," and he was just kind of like, "Okay, cool." He said, and then he told me, "Hey, I got a studio in West Oakland. You should come through." And this is before he passed, man. This was like a couple of months. I swear to you, man, this is a real true story. This was maybe like 3 or 4 months before his passing, and he gave me his number. Because he was staying in Sac, but he had a studio in Oakland. I called him one day, and I was like, "Hey, man, it's cool to come." He was like, "Yeah, man, I met you. It's cool. Come through, man. We got the lab down here. I got Ryder down here, right here." Because he had signed Ryder from the Mile Figures. And he was like, "I'm about to put an album," he had put an album out on him. And he was just like, "Yeah, we got a big thing going down here with this, man." What Mac Dre was doing, what he was trying to do for the Bay, it's the same thing Pac was doing with the One Nation album, right? So Mac Dre was trying to do that for the Bay. He was trying to get an artist from everywhere around, and put him down with this. That was his whole thing, So when I told him that I was doing my thing, he already knew I was doing it. He's like, "Oh, you for real? I can get it." It was kind of like that. We didn't talk about contracts, and it was just kind of like, "Hey, come through, see what you want to vibe with us, do records." He was actually open for that, and it was so cool, man. Mac Dre was a really cool dude, man. I'm like, how cool can you be to just meet somebody and they be like, "Oh, you do music? Hey, man, come to the studio." You know what I mean? And here's the thing. I said, "Can I get you on a track?" He said, "Yes." And he said, "Just give me the track and let me know when you want to do it. Come down to the lab and then we can do it." And the thing is, I waited because I said, I don't have the right track for him yet, right? And I'm thinking, you never know how things are going to happen. I'm thinking, like, once I get the right track, I'm going to hit Dre and then I'm going to go do it, right? And then he passed. I was like, "Whoa, what just happened? I was supposed to do a record." But again, I stalled on it. I didn't know, because we don't know. You don't think like somebody like that is going to pass away. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what, it kind of hit me like, dang, it really, like, when certain things come up, you got to take advantage of them, because this time that people ain't on the same time frame, man. People could be, here today and gone. You know that old saying, right? Same thing happened with Jacka. So I was working on my own album that dropped 10 years ago, and I was trying to get in contact with Jack. I said, "I want to get Jack on the record," because I had Quinn on there. I said, "Yeah, let me at least get Jack on the record." So I didn't have his direct line, but I had somebody that knew him. I said, "Hey, man, give me Jack a line, because I want to get him at least get him on a hook or something." He said, "All right, man, I'll let you know." And then, those months passed. Next thing you know, about 6-7 months passed, and then that happened to him while I was trying to contact him. Yeah, man, life be happening, man. It's an unfortunate thing,
Yeah, no, I definitely not. Like, I've just been in the game a couple of years, but it's like, oh, he'll be around, I can interview him whenever. Then, boom, a couple of months later, this guy overdoses, or this guy, has strokes and heart attack. Like, oh, fuck, I should have interviewed him when I had the chance. Or
yeah, because you don't ever think. Because the thing is, we're not thinking that something's gonna happen to you. We're thinking like, "Oh yeah, I can do this later."
Yeah, so you got to strike while the iron's hot, as they say. And just.
From the Bay to the K to NC to the C. Yeah, check it out. No intro needed, they call me the Dot. With my characters, a guaranteed win. McLaren, if they don't let me in, I'ma force my way. That's the reason why I'm still here today. Think about it. Who still sound like X? Still get checks. Still stack the eagle. Just nowadays, a little more legal. Understand, yo, it's only one me. Passport stamp, put my feet in the sea. And I always been good in the Bay. Don't get it up, I can go there today. chopper, feng shui, whatever. Rope direction, pull a lever. Still got the black leather with the hammer in the cold weather. With me and McLaren, somebody gon' stop. Body getting popped.
This is me. Come here as self-seeking me, nothing less. This is me. Who's that? Not an act, no caps in my raps. Yeah. Shout out to Brim. Power, push power, the world is ours. Say your flowers, remove doubters, in come the love showers. Strong like the towers, not twins. You on your way, bust a beans, yeah, but win is a win. No matter how you got there, seated in that hot chair, whether it's Miles or your homegirl salon, the bottom is nowhere to be found. Now, we world renowned, celebrate with some rounds. The sounds BRZ and therapeutic with the music. This ain't Henny in this cup, this is ginger and turmeric. I'm not preaching, I'm just reaching, still a player for your information. Trying to eliminate the mucus and inflammation. Came from the nation and the women of the night. See that 7 with a star, it don't fall, it ain't light. I'm an MC, I get paid when I work 3/4, ain't if. These are the gods of the earth. Yo! This is me. I come here as self-seeking me, nothing less. This is me. Who's that? Not an act, no caps in my raps. Yeah. This is me. I come here as self-seeking me, nothing less. Yes, sir. E-Ray C. Side Dab X. McLaren. Yeah.
Get it done.
Just get it done. Just get it done. That's why when you even with this interview, when you hit me, you was like, "Hey, I'm cool." I'm like, "Hey, let's get it done." I said, "We can get it done. Let's get it done, man."
Because I know how it works. Like he'll fill up the spot with something else, forget about it. I know the way you be smoking, you don't remember half the shit.
Yeah, man. 6 months. Yeah, man. 6 months ago, you be like, "Man, I never did that interview with Erase."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, just get it done. Just, you know.
Like I wanted to give you the option because I knew, you're right there actually, because usually he'll have you invite you to the studio, get you the whole photo shoot and everything. But
yeah, I'm gonna go down there. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that too.
He asks the same damn questions all the time. I have a whole freaking list. Like I'll do the interview, then like I'll have him go down there for the photos. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? But
yeah, because that's important. That's how you want to do it. You want to be like, it's a community thing. Like all this artist came down here, you know, and we got pictures and everything of him. Yep.
No, I'm sure he'll trip out and you guys can meet up and all that too. No, he's cool.
Right.
You already know, man.
Exactly.
Like I said, he'll do the pictures and everything. He's all about exclusive. He's always giving me crap. Like, you just gave me the Instagram picture. I want exclusive pictures. Like, oh my god, I'm not a photographer.
Yeah. That's what, because but I understand it, because the exclusive pictures is gonna be like, we really took this picture of him. This is not something we got off the internet. Right. This is when he was here. And you took the picture, you know,
with AI and everything, I can Photoshop the walk with me, you know what I mean, or something. But plus, like just bring it, like we're saying, bringing back the hard copies. Like, why should I buy your magazine? Oh, well, because we got an interview and pictures that you won't find on YouTube or
Right, it's more exclusive. It's really, that's what it's about. This is exclusive. You're not gonna find it nowhere else. That's basically what it is. We got pictures, exclusive pictures that you would never see anywhere else. So I understand that. It's like, hey, we got our personal pictures. This is not some pictures we got offline. We didn't take the album cover and put on here. We didn't get this from someone else. We took the pictures and we're posting something that you won't, because you don't have our camera. You don't have these pictures. You know what I mean? So
because it's like a joint, it's a joint collab. Everyone's all in on it. And plus, even the interview itself, like they can go find these another Erase interviews, but they're all like I ran through all of them. They'll ask you the same thing, Matt. That's why I like skip kind of some of the origin stuff. I want to go through like some of the more deep cut stuff. But, I mean, that's kind of as far as the interview. We got plenty of material. I guess you can just end it out with what are your plans for the rest of the year? Any other draw? You already said you're working on the album, but you didn't have a release date yet.
So the new album I'm finishing up, and that'll be out sometime this year. Hopefully, everything goes right, and I'm definitely gonna do some hard copies, and vinyl will come right after that too, because vinyl is a big thing too. So, definitely. I mean, if I can do cassettes, I'm gonna do. Cassettes is back in the game too.
Man.
Dope, but man. definitely start off with the CDs, because that's number one, and then with the vinyl, and the cassettes will come after that. But I'm gonna definitely do that, to get some merch in there too. So I'm trying to do the whole, then to set up a bundle or something, or buy it separate, whatever the case. But my website is erace.com. That's erase-e.com. I'm always gonna have my stuff on there. I have music on there. My new single is called Unpredictable. I sampled the Tracy Spencer song. Everybody know that record. That's the new record that's out right now. You can find that on my website, or you can find it on bandcamp.com, and I also put it on Even. Right now, that is not on digital. It's only on those sites right now. I'm thinking about putting it on there maybe later, but right now I want people to purchase it there. I have another single called Show Up and Show Out that I put out a few months ago featuring Elder Sensei at the Artifacts. That's a group out of New Jersey. Back in the days, they were signed to Big Beat Atlanta Records. The one artist passed away, Tame One, but Elder Sensei is still rocking out. So I did a record with him thanks to my producer McLaren F1. He linked me with him, and we did the record and the video. So that's out right now. Show Up and Show Out also.
Dope, man.
And I'm getting played right now in Atlanta for my song Player to Player from the Conscious Player album. We kind of fetched it to another contact because he actually linked me up with that, and they're playing it on the Hype 87.3 in Atlanta. They're running that for the rest of the month. It's called Player to Player, my song from the Conscious Player album. So yeah, I got a couple of songs out that's circulating right now, that's doing their thing. But the album, I'm working on that, and that'll be out. It'll at least have 14 tracks. I'm at least give people at least 14 tracks. I feel like 14 is a good album, good enough songs to give out a full project. Not overbearing, but just enough.
Man, I remember when 14 tracks was just like the standard, man. There's even on your album on a vintage, I was gonna say, like, I don't know if you were aware, but you kind of accidentally did 3 verses on some of these. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, you only get like 2 verses, or like you gotta have like 5 people on there to get like 3 verses out of these kids now.
Yeah, because that was the typical way to do records. Remember back then, it was like 3 verses. That's what people want to hear. Now they kind of push us down to do only 2.
To fit the algorithm, whatever it is now,
Yeah, and it's like shorter records. That's what people are trying to do.
As a consumer, that's like almost like, I don't know, if I'm buying an eighth, but now you only get 2.5 grams instead of 3.5 grams.
Right.
The same price, of course. Like, I don't know what's...
you want the whole thing, because remember, we used to look forward to hearing that 3rd verse.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? It was like, because as you go into, because sometimes 2 verses is not enough. If you're really hearing a song and he's really into detail, you're like, okay, this song needs a 3rd verse. Some songs need 3 verses.
There were tracks with 4 or 5 verses if they're like a whole group, you know what I mean? Like, nowadays that doesn't even fly. Like, nowadays you see like, it's 12 tracks, but it's like 8 minutes. Like, how does that work? Like,
Right, yeah. To me, an album is an album. It can be, it don't have to be structured only like the same theme. And let it be an album. Let it just be like one song I did where, like the song You Must, there's no hooks or anything. I'm just rapping all the way through because that's what an album is supposed to be about. It's just, some songs can just be no hooks. Some songs can be with a hook at the end. You can kind of be creative when you're making an album. You don't have to get stuck with, okay, I gotta do a hook here, and then 2 verses. No, man, you can just make it how you want to make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then that album is a short album because I didn't want to put everything to my new stuff on there. It was kind of like, hey, these are the songs I got. So it's a shorter album, but that's why I made it for a cheaper price on there. You know what I mean?
Okay. I see what you mean.
I let people pay what they want on that album. They don't have to, I didn't put a set price on there. I think you can give me a couple of dollars for that album, That's basically what I did.
It was definitely worth more than that. It was a dope album. I'll probably at least try to get a review in there for that too.
I'm gonna eventually do a video for that the first record, rap about it.
Oh yeah, that
one. People like that record, man. I actually put it on Bandcamp, just that one record, and people went crazy. They were like, and a lot of people were supporting it and buying it from me, just that one song. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a video for this.
I got to. Man, that Rappin' Chose Me, the beat on that one's a slap too.
Oh, you like that? Yeah, that knock. That's what it is. It's that knock, man. That's what people like. That's what people like, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate this sit down, talking about my history, man. It felt really authentic, and you asked the questions, and we went over things that I've never went over. Like I said, I gave you some exclusive information. I talked about different things. It's not just the typical interview that I do, because typically people are like, okay, this, that.
And they'll ask you about because I'm a student too, so I went through all your interviews. Like, oh man, they're just asking. They didn't ask about this. They didn't ask about that. Let me move out the way. Let me get in there. Like,
so you did your research. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
It's like let me spark up a whole nother conversation besides what the same people asking. Because especially if you're an artist that's known or people you've done interviews, it's like people continue to do the same interviews. It's like, wait a minute, if you know that 40 or shorter, somebody in the Bay or anywhere, it could be Fresno from that area, just been doing a bunch of a bunch of interviews, you're supposed to tap in and say, okay, what have people not talked about, or what have they not addressed from this artist at this point, especially if they had a 30-year career, right? You gotta be coming with something else besides the typical.
What made you get into rap? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Come on now. But then I understand a lot of the interviews, like they're probably just not really familiar with music, or they're just different genre medium. So you gotta do it. But yeah, like I said, I want to give I want to do a real hip hop interview with you, or expand on the interviews that you had done.
Yeah, and that's why I appreciate this one. This one seemed fresh because it's like, it was new things we're talking, and it sounded very natural. It wasn't like forced. It was this it didn't even sound. It seemed like we were just conversating. It didn't seem like one of those interviews where you're like, okay, I gotta really think. It was just it's just like we're having a conversation, like I'm talking with you. It just sounds so natural, and so when people hear it, they're going to say, it just seemed like they were just having a conversation. Exactly. Make it sound normal instead of something that's so programmed where I'm sitting there like, I got to say the correct thing. If this not right. No.
Yeah, they have pre-programmed questions like, you left me on the bone over there, you know what I mean? Like, if you went down that path a little longer. But yeah, no, that's kind of how I just wanted to approach it, like I said. They're just asking the same things, or I'd ask them in different ways, or just expand on it more. That's kind of what I wanted to do. And yeah.
Okay, definitely. Great job, CJ. Yeah, great job, man. You did a real good job.
Well, here you could do just final shout outs right here to anyone.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to my producer, McLaren F1. That's my bro who does majority of all my production. Shout out to Contact, who actually is doing a lot of film right now. He's just nominated for this film called 60 Days of Comedy that he keeps getting awards for, right? And the movie's not even out, but at these local events, film festivals all across some of them in the Bay, some of us out the Bay, and he keeps getting awards. So the movie hasn't dropped yet because he keeps getting awards for him, and I think he got about 9 awards for best comedy, and it's not even out yet. And it's just local, but it's probably going to be big by the time he drops. Anyway, shout out to him. Shout out to my brothers, the Bro Highs. We all are young. And shout out to my boy, the Cool Breeze Kid, my boy Kidnap, who linked me with my first deal, who got me to help me get that deal with LDZ Strap Records to put out strictly for the G's, my first record. And who else, man? Shout out to all my supporters, man, who still buy my music, still even go online and purchase my music to give me more money than what I'm asking for. I love that, man. Even if it's only a little bit, it still makes me feel enough to keep me going. And shout out to myself for still doing it, at a high level. I'm still gonna put out the best quality music. All my stuff, like I said, y'all can go to erac.com and get all my information there. I'm on Bandcamp and when I drop, you'll know, because I'll have it on the website and everywhere else. But I'm definitely coming with new music, new videos, and shout out to the sunshine, because I love the sun, you know what I mean? So shout out to the sunshine.
Oh, for sure. All right, here we're going.
And shout out to you, shout out to CJ for this interview, man. It's 1World magazine, correct?
Yeah, 1World.
Yeah, 1World magazine, man. Shout out to y'all also.